Welcome to Global Leadership Conversation number 1. As we say, leadership is in crisis all over the world, and we're going to start a leadership conversation speaking to experts and authors and professors and CEOs across the world. And our first conversation will be over the next 6 months or so on a regular basis for only 5 minutes. We'll be discussing 2 very important key questions and try and keep it to 5 minutes. And then we'll move to leadership conversation number 2. And of course, all these high impact interview recordings will be placed on Global Leadership Platform, the app that we've developed for exactly this purpose, is to create leadership fitness, leadership awareness, and start the conversation globally. This is just the beginning. And of course, you can interview your CEO or someone that you value their opinion about leadership, and you can interview yourself. You can take your recording, record yourself and say, these are my answers to these 2 pertinent questions. I've got Professor Theo Veldsman with me, a regular expert that we've had conversations with. I'm going to throw these 2 questions at him and see what comes out. His views on what is the most important quality or attribute we need to develop, awaken, or improve in leaders if we are going to turn around the current leadership crisis, and why. Professor Veldsman, welcome. Great to have you with me. That's the question. What's your answer to this question?
Adrian, thank you very much for having me. Adrian, I would like to start with just a little bit of a broader picture and then drill down into your 2 questions. A colleague of mine, Albert Ward, did some research and he identified 4 C's of leadership excellence, which I've later on added a 5th one. And the 5 C's are, firstly, that leaders must be committed to being leaders. Secondly, that they must show character. Thirdly, that they must be connected. Fourthly, that they must be caring. And fifthly, that they must have competence. And the quality I would like to lift out for your question is the C called character. And character is about integrity. And that's at the heart of leadership. And I think our crisis, as you said in the introduction, to a large measure, Adrian, is around that we don't have leaders with integrity. And the question then is asked, what is integrity? Integrity for me is essentially an ethical leader, a leader that's good, does good, and ensure the good. Is the leader that does the right thing in the right way, with the right persons at the right time for the right reasons. So for me, really the quality that we have desperate need of is integrity as expressed in the character of the leader. So hopefully that answers your first question.
I have to throw out the word, Theo. So you could mention so many things, as you know. If we had to call people into a room and say what constitutes a great leader, there'll be like 50 attributes and qualities, and this is the one you highlight. Is there a strong why, a strong reason?
I think because to a large measure, Adrian, what we're seeing in the leadership crisis is a crisis actually across all 5 of those leadership C's. But I think in particular for me currently, we are seeing leaders that are behaving unethically without any integrity. They don't want to stand up for and take accountability for their actions, and they are just devious and toxic in so many ways. And I think if we can just get leaders of character, in a sense, could it be that the other 4 C's will fall in place? The commitment, the being connected, truly connected, showing care and showing competence. I think it's the baseline. It's the point at which we have to start with leadership.
Okay, Prof. Veldsman, the big question in the last minute or 2, how do we develop this or awaken it in leaders or improve it, the specific integrity in character?
That's a tough question because I think ethics and being a person of integrity starts small. So it is really the leader enters the workplace already with a certain measure of integrity. You either have the ethics or you don't have. It's a little bit like leaders are born or not born, but I mean it's developed and it's nurtured. But I think what's then important, if a leader has the basic ethics, you can also be a good apple in a bad casket of other bad apples. So what we need is that the other leaders must role model what ethical behavior is, so that the leader can follow suit. There must be an ethical culture nurtured in an organization, and there must be a reinforcement of what's the right things to do in a work site. So I think it's interactive. We first have to make sure that we have leaders of integrity entering into the workplace, and then the context and the setting and the modeling by the other leaders must be such that that ethical leadership is reinforced and supported in the leader. Otherwise, that leader will also over time either become, say, I'm a good person by myself, but I'm not ensuring the good because it's too tough to do. I'm not doing the good. So you could have an ethical leader that's good in himself, but then becomes a spectator in terms of what's happening around them. So we need the context, and we need the person who's basically an ethical person.
Professor Theo Veldsman, we can have a long conversation about this. We know we can, because it's such an important topic and theme, and what you've highlighted are super urgent and important, and that just gets the conversation going. Thank you for your valuable time. We appreciate it. We don't want to spend hours with leaders, but we want to go all over the world asking them 5+ minutes, plus minus, what they feel about these two questions. We appreciate it for all of you out there. That's the Global Leadership Conversation number 1. We're getting a conversation going, and we're putting it on the Global Leadership platform, on the app. Thinkly.app is where you can find it at this stage. Thank you for joining us, Prof.
Thank you very much.